why don't you give our guests a little bit of who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be on on a podcast and being able to not only talk about your background, but trying to find out how you can help other entrepreneurs that are just like you, founders, small business owners, and how what I am about to share will add value to your life. So I'm definitely looking forward to making sure that that's true. My background started very young. I would say I started my first endeavor into the entrepreneurial and journey back when I was 16, 17 with an ad network. Then subsequently came to New York, ended up convincing the dean of the university I went to give me 1 year of enough full ride. Enough scholarships and grants to cover the first year, and then he ended up giving me more for the next 2 years as well. But while running that, I had to, obviously pay the bills. I was living off $900 a month in a budget. So I ended up launching an agency that focused on social media marketing. And by way of that, being a small business, working with clients in Europe and even here in New York, quickly figured out that collaborating with other individuals is not streamlined or intuitive or creative at all. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up raising about a little under 100K to build out an MVP from some very notable angel investors here in New York, including the first investors in Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot. And then quickly raised another 900K or so by the end of my senior year, so in total about $1 million. And what we were building is essentially, if you can imagine, Microsoft Project combined with Iron Man, where you can actually navigate, and see people who are working on your project. You can, pinch them together. You can swipe files to people. You can, drag people into projects. It's a very intuitive, visual software, almost like moving chess pieces on a board. Unfortunately, we were too early for our own good. We figured out that touchscreens, we were expecting touchscreens would become bigger and cheaper, which they did 2 years after we ran out of cash. And so that was my first, one of my first experiences of failure and learning from, building a venture-backed company, the things you should be focusing on versus not. How do you build a streamlined engineering team versus not, building a product, an MVP, and getting it out the door in the customer's hands versus trying to nitpick all the fine details and, trying to perfect everything until you actually get it out the door. So I learned a lot. Within a couple of months of that, I decided to focus on another pain in the that was social media marketing. And social media marketing was not intuitive, not creative at all, much like that on the project management side. And we were looking at tools which were, obviously we have a lot of respect for some of these tools like, Hootsuite, and I can obviously go ahead and share my screen. Hootsuite, we know the founder, tremendous amount of respect for them, but it's very non-creative. It's very much like Microsoft Project, and it doesn't really give you the data science or the artificial intelligence, let you know, was it a copy that's doing really well for you? Is it the emojis, the images, the spacing? As you know, images are very important for your when you're posting Instagram. None of that data is given to you, but it's affordable. If you're running a coffee shop and we want to compete with the Starbucks of the world, this is all we can afford. But now when you take a look at tools which are obviously a little bit more capable, like Radiant 6, which is now Marketing Cloud, you then get more data. You get a lot more sentiment analysis, but now you feel like you need a PhD to take this information and then become a better marketer. And by the way, this is a monitoring tool. It doesn't even schedule for you. It doesn't execute for you. It doesn't help you create the content or curate the content. And $100,000 price point, some of the competitors are at $50,000 or $30,000. You and I would never pay for something like this. So what we wanted to build, and we can go ahead and give a demo as well, is something that is a lot more intuitive and a lot more simpler and color-driven, and has a lot of data science. So anyway, that was my background and where we are today.